Yo, 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 what's up? What's really good? Ain't gonna be no music here, ain't gonna be no backgrounds, ain't gonna be no editing. This is your boy, Brandon Brevon Towns. This is Sports Plus Life Talking Ish. I feel a duty to do this. What we failed to mention on the podcast the other day, and I put that on me, is the events of Montgomery, Alabama, and what was a historic event in Montgomery, Alabama. And while I say that with a bit of humor, I say that with all seriousness as well, because everybody's known about it. It's gone viral. The fight that seemed racial, if not racial, definitely tribal, where we have about 7 or 8 white men beating up a black security guard just doing his job, and then the black cavalry comes in and they handle business. But before I go any further, I got Cousin David, I got Tony, my man Tony, and I got brother Calvin on the line. What up? What up, fam?
What's up? What up, y'all? What's going on?
Calvin, I'm gonna start with you because I called you as soon as I saw this video last night. I take full responsibility for not being up on current events. I just found out about it last night. I called Calvin. I said, "How did you not let me talk about Montgomery, Alabama?" He said, "I thought you knew. I thought you didn't want to talk about it." Go ahead, Calvin.
No, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I think when you know what I'm saying, I thought you was going to talk about the writer strike. When that ain't happened, once Montgomery happened, I said, well, maybe he just in football mode. But that shit is the equivalent of people. You ever see somebody? They operate. I'm gonna say it's not the white people's fault, and just hear me out. They thought they was operating with the same parachute they didn't have for the last how many centuries. Them people jumped out there. That was learned behavior. That is natural selection right there. That's in their nature. They thought they could do that shit, and the same shit that's either the same. The shit is not covered and not shit is not hidden anymore. You know what I'm saying? In years past, that would have happened. You would have never heard nothing about it. All them niggas would have been fired. You know what I'm saying? And them people would have been right back down there the next weekend. You know what I'm saying? So in a way, it's their fault, but it's in their nature, it's in their racist nature to act like that and think they don't have no consequence. I mean, everything's recorded now. That's one of the things that's changing about that's one of the good things about stuff. Everything is recorded. That man, it don't care what that man said to you. Or, you know what I'm saying? Take race out of it. It don't, which is hard to, but it don't matter what that man said to you. You did not put your hands on somebody like that. You know what I'm saying? And then when all your people got together and tried to, you know what I'm saying, jump on that man, and maybe y'all people, I don't know, maybe the burden was flowing because y'all miscounted by a lot. You know what I'm saying? Y'all by every nigga, he miscounted by every nigga that was in the area. They pulled up on they forgot it was a boat full of niggas. You forgot it was a boat full of niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Oh well. Tony, I'm gonna come to you last because I want to hear. I want to hear what you have to say last. What makes me why I say this is a moment in history, a moment in Black history. We've seen that same scenario play out in the state of Alabama hundreds and hundreds of times, where there's been white people beating up black people. And I'm not saying this to play the race card. Y'all know I love everybody, but as a black man, the shit made me happy because, again, hundreds and hundreds of times in Alabama, you've seen the ending of that story is a black person either severely beaten, getting sprayed by a water hose, bit by a cop dog, or strung up on a tree. But not today. And that makes me more happy than anything. David, your opinion, sir.
Well, one, I gotta say, because you introduced me and you didn't introduce the wife, Miss Gabby.
David and David and Mrs. David, Miss Gabby, Mr. and Mrs. Bramble. Hiya.
Yeah. So, as far as my opinion goes for it, I'm right with it in a couple of things. Like as far as Calvin was saying, like it's a thing, but that honestly, my big thing was this. I was proud to see it.
You sleeping?
No, I ain't sleeping. Nigga, I just got up.
Proceed, David.
No, I was glad to see it that we finally took responsibility and ownership on our own and say, you know what, we're not finna let this shit happen no more. We're not finna assault it. We're not finna be assaulted. We're not finna be made a victim. And it's not going to be our own fault. We're going to take responsibility in our own hands. Because that's what the beating was. The beating was, we're going to own our own shit.
Okay.
And they owned it. And they beat the shit out of old boys. So.
Old boy, no, them old boys. The Proud Boys took a ass whooping of epic proportion. Gabby, what do you think?
You want in there, Miss Bramble?
Where's Mrs. Bramble?
I'm right here.
Say something, goddammit. What do you think about that?
Hey, what's wrong? What's wrong?
I know one thing. I don't know. Who the hell you think you're talking to?
Hey.
You know, you better use your inside voice if I put your ass outside.
Hey, hold on now. Hold on. I can't even put her outside. You can't put her outside.
I can. I'm in Virginia. Y'all in West Virginia.
Fair enough.
But what did you think about that? Because there was females up in there knucking if you buck too. No, I'm talking about. No, Gabby. I want Gabby to answer that.
Listen. What? Listen. Excuse us. My thing is, when he threw the hat, we already knew what was going down.
he chucked that
We
motherfucker
knew.
too.
And that right there shows you that we will come together in love and not out of anger like these white folks.
Oh, we was angry,
Yeah,
but we was showing love.
They felt entitled.
Oh, yes.
They could park their boat anywhere they wanted to. We came out of love. We saw somebody in trouble. We helped them out.
I got a question after she finished too, Brandon.
He was doing his job.
That's not a chicken. Not only goddamn raw chicken. Yeah, that was that right there.
All right, Calvin, what's your question? Because I want to get to Tony. What's your question?
Yeah, a quick question, like, because I've never been on the boat. I've never been in the Navy, but is that like standard operating procedure with the hat? Because it seemed like when the hat flew up, the game changed.
I don't know.
Like, is that any training?
Sign for help. That's a southern sign for like, nigga, I need help. Y'all better
Okay, I never knew that shit.
I mean, I never knew that too.
So Bobby Swerve's been crying for help for 7 years.
I ain't never thrown no hat. When I threw a hat, I'm ready to go.
The throwing of the hat was the sign right there. That was the sign. That's why the niggas came back quick. They already knew. They were ready. The moment he tossed that hat up. Because he didn't have to do all that.
I mean, it was a boat full of black people who across the water who was recording it. But okay, I learned something new every day. Tony. What say you, sir? I've been waiting for this.
Well, first of all, that hat was the black bat signal. That's what that was. I'm gonna go with a bigger picture look at it. So ever since that orange idiot, I've been talking about it, Brandon. Since this orange idiot, they get emboldened. Right after he, started campaigning and running, all of a sudden somebody wanted to say something slick to somebody's Muslim mama, and that feeling of entitlement, they got emboldened. Where for years they were kind of hesitant because they knew, what it was for real. Well, let's fast forward and let's talk about this incident. They thought if there were no cameras, that story would have went very different, and we know that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, era of social media, there's cameras everywhere, and there's eyes watching everywhere. And yeah, the cavalry came. You saw the brother come across the water like Aquaman, Scuba Gooding Jr., whatever.
And that already kills the black people can't swim stereotype.
But here's what led up to this kind of thing that no one really thinks about. So, what's been the topic of the last month? That motherfucker Jason Aldean song, Try That in a Small Town. Well, guess what happened? They tried Montgomery's a small fucking town, and they, the name of the town is Fuck Around and Find Out. So, it is what it is. I applaud it. I think it should be more of it. At the end of the day, the sister came out the woodwork, drugged the white bitch, and threw her ass in the water. Which
Damn sure did.
I would have did. That chair, my wife made a joke today talking about that chair should be in like every Black History museum.
Hey man, that chair is in the Black People's Hall of Fame.
But they'll think twice. You know, that I'm telling you, that song had a play. Because if you listen to the media, I listen to Fox, I listen to these other things, and then white people, yeah, exactly, yeah. Try that in a small town, yeah. Talking about what would happen, you know, the stuff that happens in the bigger cities, and that never happened in a small town. Well, Montgomery's a small ass town compared to Birmingham and some of the other places in Alabama. So it's a small town. Now, here's the posting to what happened. Them same white people, because, you know, some people got locked up on the spot, but they got released. That same white people family went to a hospital.
In Selma, Alabama. Yes.
Right. And come to find out, you know, that most Negroes there, they didn't want to get treated there, and so them people told them, well, you know what, you can leave.
Yeah, and that's what the police told him. The police told him, said you can either get treated or leave, because they called the police and said, I quote, it's nothing but niggas here. And the police said, well, you can get treated or you can leave. Look, let me tell you something. The only thing that I wish was a little different is, and this is just for poetic justice sake, I wish that ass whooping had took place in Selma, Alabama. But I'll take Montgomery. I'll take it. Well,
what's going to end up happening is, from what I hear, because the mayor was talking about, they're looking to try to charge them people with a hate crime.
That's exactly what it was.
From just regular garden variety assault, you know, you hate crime, you go look at some time. So
that's a felony.
Yeah.
Hey, can I ask Tony a question?
What's up?
Hey, Tony.
Yeah.
So with the black dude beating on the white girl head with a chair, was that a hate crime though?
Hey, you know what? I was thinking about that. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
yeah, I was thinking about that shit.
Let me just say, they didn't spare the sisters the whip. So
no.
David, it's like I was trying to tell you earlier when I called you earlier. That woman, okay, now that man with the chair was hitting another dude who was coming at him. Then the white woman came at the guy with the chair. And when she got sat down, she got clocked.
Yeah. She figured there was no way that this man that was swinging a chair, hitting people, was going to hit her with said chair. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, again, they miscalculated somewhere. And as far as hitting the lady with the chair, I guess at that time, you know, in it for a penny, in it for a pound at that point.
All you see is red.
Yeah.
Well, there's that, and, you know, WWE.
My man.
Smacked with a chair.
No, fuck that. He didn't go WWE. He went old school WWF.
Yeah, China used to get hit by dudes or whatever.
That motherfucker, he thought that white woman was Mick Foley. He just hit the fuck out.
Yeah. But I agree with what he said, though, touching on like as far as the orange idiot getting emboldened. Like what's happening is, you know what I'm saying, these thoughts and these feelings all been there, but he's let these feelings out of the cage, and nobody can put them back in the cage. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be seen putting them back in the cage on that side. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on, especially now that he getting indicted and everything. Because truth be told, the Democrats want him locked up, and the Republicans want him locked up because once he's not a threat. He's right. He's not a threat because they know he's unleashed something. They know he's unleashed something. And if he was to run again. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's the Republicans giving the people the evidence to do this shit, because they got to get him out of the way. He can't be an option.
Well, you know, let me first say something to the people who listen to this. We don't condone violence. I'm not trying to make it seem like I'm condoning violence or racism or anything like that. No, but these are four black people on this line here. Well, me, Calvin, Tony, David. Yeah, five black motherfuckers on the phone. And I'm being serious. These are five black people on the phone who have all watched and felt the same pain and seen the same injustice. You know, there was a point made earlier where everything is recorded now. If there was no camera phones, that story would have been a whole lot different. The way the national media reported this story, they reported it as if it was just a fight. They didn't report it for what it was. 7 or 8 white men jumping and brutally attacking a black man who was an employee of the boat company who was doing his job. I will say this though, when that attack happened, there was one white kid who was trying to step in and break it up, and one of his partners turned around and swung on him. With friends like that, who the fuck needs enemies? We're not trying to condone violence, but as black people,
lies, condone it, Malcolm, by any means necessary.
No, I was getting to that, Tony. I was getting to that, Tony. I was getting to that. That incident in Montgomery, Alabama was not a MLK Day. But somehow, some way, I believe that somewhere MLK has a grin on his face. Malcolm X, it probably has done a backflip. George Floyd has probably been like, where was y'all at?
Oh, Negro. Y'all need to tune in to TikTok. That meme is already out there with Malcolm standing at the window instead of the M16. He got a share.
So I'm not condoning violence, but why is it okay to do this? And one thing I heard was, white people beat up white people a whole lot more. You know what? Okay, that's fine. I care just as much about that as a white person caring about how much black people beat up black people on a daily basis. Let me just leave it like that.
One person that says that you turn back and ask them, why are the white people beating them? It ain't for the same reason.
No, this was, I heard this was Marcellus Wiley that I heard that said that.
They're not going to suffer the same consequences.
Right.
From what I heard, they was trying to dock that boat for 45 minutes.
And they know the rules. They know the rules. When a larger vessel is coming through, you got to give way.
Right.
You know the rules.
They were already told by the police that they had to move their boat before all of that happened.
And a lot of people are going to blame alcohol. Okay, but what does alcohol bring out? The truth.
The truth. Yeah. Drunk man tell a sober man thoughts.
The monster.
Yeah. I mean, look now let's again, let's have a little fun with this. Let's go by blow once the cavalry came in. Well, because first of all, when the security guard was trying to tell him to move it, you got a boat full of black people across the way yelling, "Move, bitch, get out the way." I thought that was special. The first guy who came by was in his MLK mode. He was trying to break it up. But everybody else was Brother Malcolm. And when the Migos got onto the dock and skipped to the boat where the people was at and started swinging haymakers, that's when you knew shit was going down.
You know what was going down. You don't recognize that skip.
Yeah, I know that skip. That's the Mike Tyson walking to the ring skip.
Let your listeners know, when you see black people skipping, do not go that direction. we will not skip, first of all.
Man, I've been waiting for this shit. I've been waiting for this shit.
Yeah, right.
Not frolic. We don't frolic idly.
That's right. That is the I've been waiting for that shit skip.
No. Yeah.
And none of them had shirts on. None of them had shirts on.
When the last time I've skipped? When's the last time you skipped?
Nigga, skip school, nigga. I don't know.
I ain't skipped like that in a long time. I haven't skipped like that before, and I was not having a good day. That's another thing too. And that's another thing too. Let them know.
Yeah, I watched the And One mixtape, and I watched Skip to My Lou.
David, hold on. The last time we skipped like that, we was running down on somebody, and you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got your ass now.
The twins, daddy.
I can get away. You thought you could get away. You thought you got that.
You came out there with that trying to make the doc great again, and they left with Joe Biden. You ain't black if.
Hey, bro.
And another pro tip: if a black person tell you wait right there, do not. And I cannot stress this enough.
Don't do it.
Not wait right there.
Leave immediately.
Because do not.
Immediately leave. But yes, but when I saw that shit, like I said, look at the Migos, and they came skipping up to that boat, and then all of a sudden, those people who were so tough just a minute and a half ago were trying to explain themselves, and then pop, and then that was a wrap.
It's up real quick. And you know what? I wish I was.
The two white boys, they were trying to get back into the fray, and then all of a sudden, that spider since all of them turned around at one time, and white boys ran.
And one of them the one to the right turned around and tried to casually walk away like he ain't have nothing to do with nothing. They punched him in the back of the head.
I wish I could work this social media shit like everybody else. I would pay good money for somebody to take that footage, and put over it that white people said, what's that wrestling song? Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. That would be so fucking funny. Oh my God. That I would pay for somebody to do that shit.
Well, have you seen the meme? Have you seen the meme?
We literally gonna sit and watch TikTok because there is so many videos.
I was gonna say, have y'all seen the picture where the spot where Tony was talking about when the two dudes ran up and he saw the 5 or 6 other black dudes? There's a picture where they put the Doctor Strange circle. Like, remember when the event when they came out on Endgame?
Yeah. Like I said, your math was incorrect, sir. All of it.
All of them.
Yeah. You thought it was going to be 5-on-1? No, we never alone. And that right there proved it.
Bro, it was like eight of them. It was like 8 of them who jumped on that dude. And it's like, yo, are you serious?
Yeah, you thought shit was sweet, and it was not.
And then the part that pissed me off but was so predictable, when the police got there, the white folks is gonna sit on the dock crying, looking like they the fucking victim.
Like the victim, yeah. It's so easy to cry 911 when you feel like, oh, well, I've been done wrong when I got my ass whooped by like 40 niggas.
What did Mike Tyson say? What did Mike Tyson say? Everybody has a plan until what?
They get punched in the fucking mouth.
This shit is so hilarious. People find this so fucking funny. On TikTok, it was a cop. It was a black cop. I don't know where he was, but he said, honey, I'm going to work. And he was carrying a chair.
Hey, I done seen the joke where somebody got a chain with the chair as the medallion. Like, yo, that's going in the Hall of Fame. But Calvin, did you get the Roland Martin joint that I sent you last night?
Yeah, I got it. I haven't had a chance to.
All right, so on that one, Roland Martin Unfiltered, and that one, he has the start he has 2 different angles. The start of it is from the boat where my 16-year-old black Aquaman swam from. So there was somebody taken from that way. That's where you can hear the people on that boat chanting, "Move, bitch, get out the way." They watching the whole thing. So then, once they start assaulting the security officer, once the black dudes come up, it goes to another camera angle where the Migos came up to the boat, and that's when that's when all the heart emojis start popping up on the TikTok screen. But there was these 2 people, a man and a woman, who literally, the woman was like, "Show Lil, whoop their ass, don't cry now, old Susie McClusey head ass bitch." But when the cops came over, to when they started trying to put people in handcuffs, they started putting the black people in handcuffs first. And these people came down and was like, no. We done saw the whole damn thing. Those people right there, they initiated it. They jumped on this security officer, and they was like, well, the officer was like, "Do you have a video to show it?" They was like, "Yeah." They was like, "Yeah, bro, I got the whole motherfucking thing right here." Now, the funny part was, it was like, "Would you like to sign a statement, a witness statement?" They both got quiet as fuck. That's when the nigga kicked back in. Then they was like, "Wait, no." They was like, "No, they'll sign it. But it's like, yo, what I learned from this, and I'm not trying to be corny, dramatic, or anything else, and I'm being so serious. What I learned from this situation is something that we should have always known from the beginning. And I'm not saying this in regards to violence, but black people are so much stronger when we are together than when we are apart. I'm not talking about just joining together for a physical altercation, but in general, we are so much better as a people. We're as strong as ever when we come together as one. I seriously doubt that anybody knew that security guard. And that was the type of situation where if any of us were there, I can guarantee we probably jump. We jump into shit too. Not knowing, but
I'm already in. I'm already once the first punch is thrown, I'm in.
But that's something. As far as you saying that we strong together, that's something that the rest of the world know that we are still trying to figure out.
Right. But that's something that the rest of that certain parts of the world don't want to see happen. When you say, Tony, that or Calvin, when you say that the orange man unleashed something, well, yesterday unleashed something too. It unleashed a visual. You know, you hear about it preached to you all the time, but you actually for the first time saw what can happen when black people just stick together. And I'm not saying this as anti-white, anti anybody else. I'm not anti anybody else, but I am pro-black. And when we stick together as a people, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish. It just so happened the first time you really saw us sticking together and the world saw this shit happened to be a physical altercation in Alabama. And to me, that's poetic justice. Tony, I'd like to hear your opinion of that. I mean, your response to that.
No.
I mean, you're absolutely correct. You know, like you said, they didn't know that back then, but you got to understand.
Can I jump in there real quick? It was the first time that we've been together like that, because we were together with Brother Martin Luther King. We were together with Malcolm. Now this is the first time that they're seeing us. When they're going to continue to see us like we truly are.
I know, David, I get what you're saying.
I can't go with you on that because, yeah, we were together, but we were together at that time, a lot of us together burning down our own communities out of anger.
Right.
This is the first time they got the flack from it. And, you know, they didn't know that dude, but you know why the Migos jumped in. You know why Aquaman jumped in.
Right. Why the Black Avengers came in.
That particular thing. And you ask a black man, why you hostile? I'm going to quote the great philosopher, Mr. Flavor Flav. Man, I got a right to be hostile. No. My people being persecuted. So that's what they saw. They saw red.
Right, exactly. And David, I hear what you're saying, but again, Tony was spot on with what he said. We were with Martin, we were with Malcolm, but like I said earlier, when you saw something like that in Selma, Alabama, we could have been fighting back, but what was the end result of said situations in black and white footage, or even in footage from the 1990s or from 2020? Black person brutally beaten, fire hose down, bitten by a dog, or hung from a tree. Not that time. I'm serious when I say this is a moment in black history.
If you think about it, go back and look at some of those videos from Selma, and it's like 15, 20 cops, and they just wailing with the billy clubs and the German shepherds, and it's like 60, 70 black people.
And we're losing, and we were losing.
Right, because they would not
fight. We were standing with our hands behind our back.
No, they weren't with their hands behind their back. They literally were holding their hands up to their face trying to not get hit with billy clubs.
Or being sprayed by a water hose.
Beat the shit out of them cops. But what happens next? At that time, if you do that, then the military comes down there with real guns and shoots black people. So that's
that's when we got Malcolm X.
You know,
I know the whole story. I know it all. But this right here, as you said, Tony, I'm in a total agreement with you. But at the same time, when have the last time, minus a physical altercation, like we've been saying, we haven't been proud of our race. That's where Brandon got it messed up at. We haven't been proud of our color in this long.
No, I'm saying how proud of black people I am.
I'm proud to be black, bro.
I've always been proud to be black.
I don't think that's the thing. I just, like I said, I think there's this passive nature where, again, the violence thing, responding with kind. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing right now. We respond with kind. We hear the rhetoric. You hear the words all the time. And, yeah, we respond with the words, but historically speaking, they instigated the violence, and we, in some respects, with the exception.
They started it. We finished it.
Especially like the Panthers, you know, we would be passive when it came to the violence thing. I told somebody earlier today. I said, you know how many guns it is Detroit versus the rest of Michigan? So you know they can instigate. All of this is leading up to what they think they want, a civil war. You don't want that now because you're not fighting the same war. You wouldn't be fighting the same war.
And also one thing that I'm proud of, and I'll say this, in the camera phone era, so many things happen in the camera phone era where people just sit back and record. We'll send it to a media outlet, maybe get a checkup. Man, there was enough people saying, fuck all that. Fuck all of that.
Get in on it.
Exactly.
Get in. Listen to the right wing. Steve Bannon and all that on their radio shows talking about we got to be locked and loaded and ready to go. And I'm sitting there saying, you deer hunting motherfuckers, go take your guns and go see the Crips and Bloods. And see, they got guns that for the purpose of killing people, not deers. So, you know, you can go out there and shoot them deers with them AR-15s, but what happens when you got, you know, angry black men pointing them same guns modded back at you?
And again, I just hope that because this shit, like I said, everybody in the world has seen this. I just hope that as a black community, and this is not to, try to rain down power on everybody else, because I know that is white America's biggest fear, that karma will be the ultimate bitch when it comes to this country. No, I'm not saying I hope the black community saw this for purposes of physical altercations and violence, but just to know you just saw it, what can happen when black people stick together. It doesn't have to be a physical altercation. It can be in business. It can be in finance. It can be in entertainment. If we just stick together and stop trying to tear each other down, then the sky is the limit for us.
Well, forget that. And you talking about empowerment. See, this didn't get no airplay up in New York, up in Brooklyn, right? Two trannies.
Hey, watch out.
Hispanic tranny and a black tranny, and it was 3 white boys fucking with her. Tell me why them niggas took them heels off and beat the shit out them white boys. Right there in the street. Motherfuckers in dress and pumps. They took the shit off and beat the shit out them boys. It's tolerance, man. That entitled white man is waging war on all people of color, anybody melanated, and they waging war on the trans community, gay community. So gay people ain't with them, and to a lesser degree, they waging war on women with this abortion shit. It's not gonna work. This ain't the 50s no more.
50s, 60s, 70s. Calvin, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Calvin, I don't know if you heard what I was saying in regards to me just hoping that our black communities takes a look at that and realizes what we can accomplish when we stick together. Doesn't have to be for a fight.
Right.
But if we stick together, we can accomplish anything. There's nothing we can't accomplish. I'm not talking about 2020 style, because 2020, at that point in time, the world said that's enough, but we all knew that was only going to be temporary. But this is something that is, like I said, that's historic to me, and I think black people should really look at that. And those people who fought together, I guarantee you, they are friends for life. There is going to be one big ass family reunion one year, and that's going to be the centerpiece of the story. Remember when they tried to beat that? Oh man, we whooped it. And again, if we come together and stick together. That's the thing about it. Stick together. Find a common goal, and again, it doesn't have to be violence. I personally don't want it to be violent, but I loved what I saw, because when I first started watching that video, I was sitting there getting mad as a bitch. I was sitting there getting mad at the motherfucker, seeing 7, 8 white people jump on this black dude who's just trying to do his job. But then when the cavalry came, I got up, I was in my house, I started jumping up and down. I was like, yes, yeah. But okay, again, another blow by blow. Like I said, I got to give shout outs to my man who jumped in the water. My man who jumped in the water and swam and pulled himself up on the dock, soaking wet, and then body slammed the motherfucker. 16 years old. 16 years old. And then another shout out goes to old man chair swinger. For real. Oh my goodness. Is Gabby still there? I don't know. David might have got off the phone. Calvin, go ahead.
He went to the bathroom.
Okay.
Because of that video, I got white people I see every morning. I ain't seen in 2 days at work.
Hey, they acting like when the first time they played Roots on television.
Yeah, I remember your dad told me that story. I can only imagine.
Oh my God!
I hope we look at it. I hope we look at it, but look at it like you said, for the right reasons. You know what I'm saying? Look at it and take. You know what I'm saying? Take from it what we're supposed to, because like I was saying, you know what I'm saying, we are stronger when we come together. But that's one thing that they've always known. That's one thing they figured that out once we got off the boat. That's why they took away our language, took away our God, took away all the shit. You know,
took away our mind. Took away our mind.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because if you think, look at shit like entertainment. Like who's the top comedian? Who's the top black comedian? It's only one at a time. You know what I'm saying? It's devious. It's only one at a time. But as far as like you look at the top white comedians, and I'm just using that as an example, it could be anybody. You can say Seinfeld. You can say, you know what I'm saying? It's anybody. Look at the top black actor. It's Denzel, hands down. Denzel's the top black actor. You know what I'm saying? Top black actresses. You know what I'm saying? Right now is Regina King. you know what I'm saying, Angela Bassett moving in that, Viola Davis moving in that same stratosphere. That's 3 of them. But you say top white actresses, that list is endless. You see what I'm saying?
Tom Hanks, Brad Pitt. What's my man Top Gun?
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I was going to say Top Gun.
They
Tom
usually,
Cruise.
they don't usually block them at the same time because Denzel and Will Smith, you could be 1A and 1B at the same time, depending on what movie. Brad Pitt
And Samuel Jackson.
Tom Cruise. If Tom Cruise got Mission Impossible out and Brad Pitt got a movie out, they're going to compete against each other. But beyond that, no one cares. So that's just how Hollywood is.
You see what they doing to my man Jonathan Majors?
Yeah, but you know what? Jonathan Majors, in some respect, did that to himself. And
he did that.
I won't even get into all that. But once you get caught up in that, they look for stuff to target you. And I'm not going to say it's totally a black thing because look what happened with Johnny Depp.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Johnny Depp.
Well, I tell you what, I hope that Jonathan Majors lands on his feet because I enjoy watching him act in his movies.
What? Nigga,
and I say that he did himself, and the reason why you use Johnny Depp because Johnny Depp, you knew that chick was crazy, and the bitch you just wanted to deal with anyway. Jonathan Majors, you knew she was crazy, you wanted to deal with anyway. That's how that story is gonna end.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But Jonathan Majors gonna be all right. The Disney machine already got that girl out the country. She ain't even showing up for court. They need her home so they can drop the so he can be Kane the Invader or whatever his name is.
Kang the Conqueror.
Same thing.
Meanwhile, shout out to Tory Lanez, you know.
Oh man. Let's switch subjects for a minute. Tory Lanez got 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it.
No. You done said something now. Speak your piece, brother.
I already knew it was going to happen. I just figured he was going to get a life. In New York with an unregistered pistol, and then you assaulted a female with an unregistered pistol.
I don't think it was New York. I think it was Cali.
They was in California.
Yeah, they was in Cali. That wasn't in New York.
Either way, he's a New York resident. What you think going to happen? He's getting years.
He's a Canadian resident.
He's a Canadian resident. Yeah, it don't matter where you live. Is where you do what happens. Where
you do it at.
What happened?
But
yeah, there you go.
He's gonna get. I think he's gonna end up getting deported.
How was that?
I just wonder how much his father is gonna scream it's Jay-Z's fault again.
I think Tory Lanez nigga, you ain't a celebrity for real. It's like you're just not. You're not a celebrity for real. Megan Thee Stallion is a celebrity. The white people love her. So
yep.
And if he didn't know that before, he know that now.
Oh, he know that right now in that orange jumpsuit.
When the white people love you, you're a celebrity. You're right.
Baseball games, and white people love her.
Oh man, you see the way she looked throwing out that first pitch. Oh, okay. You know what? I don't want to get on black people. I don't want to stray from black people not progressing. This is a celebratory talking ish episode of Sports Plus Life.
Let me throw this in there, and I'm about to let y'all talk about whatever you want. I got to predict because I sent you a text about what I think I did about Vegas and what Vegas will bet on anything. So there's a bet out there on Trump getting convicted. Trump is going to get convicted. He's going to get by plea or whatever because that memo that dropped today, that sister in Georgia, she is next week. Look for his mugshot because they have already said we are handcuffing him, we are mugshotting him. He's a regular defendant. If he don't show up, we're going to send the U.S. Marshals, and the Secret Service can't stop that. His little Secret Service detail, they can't interfere with that. And that's the reason why if you look at his rally, like that nation, New Hampshire, the whole rally was about this whole thing. He's trying to try it in the court of public opinion, thinking his far-right crazies are going to be enough and will go to war to keep him out of jail. Correct. That's just not going to happen. Correct. It's just not going to happen.
He's figuring his stardom is going to keep him away from the
99.4%. The federal conviction rate is 99.4%. He's like Calvin said, the Fed, the Republicans, the old school GOP dudes like Mitch McConnell, Mitt Romney, all them motherfuckers go to jail. They want him gone. Yeah. They just want to be able to blame it on the Democrats so that they can keep the supporters voting Republican. That's all.
So they can save face.
Right. They don't want them to try to create a third party based off of Trump. Yeah. So if you can get rid of Trump, remove him from the table, those Republican voters are always still going to vote red. So we can just put a guy out there, and they don't care if it's DeSantis or they
God,
love
DeSantis,
for Tim Scott. They would love for Tim Scott to be the face of the Republican Party. Why? Because he's a black guy, and he's a white guy in black.
And I've been screaming this. That's it. And I've been screaming this for over 10 years. There's one player on that board that y'all ain't heard yet he's gonna peek his head out. I forget his name, but he was Mitch Romney's vice presidential pick. You know what I'm saying? They was trying. His name. Yeah.
Oh, I know who you're talking about too. Oh yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna try to look it up.
It won't Paul. His name ain't Paul Ryan, is it?
No, because he's the leader of the House for the Republican side.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Because once Trump got in,
Paul Ryan?
He lost.
So he went from that. So it was Paul Ryan.
Yeah, Paul Ryan. Because see, if you follow this shit, they went up. When you follow this shit, they lost the 2012 election, but he was still,
Paul Ryan. You're right, Paul Ryan.
He was still. He won't speak of the House. There was John Boner or whatever, Boehner or whatever. But he was still.
Boner.
Bottom line, once
Boner.
Paul Ryan is not going. He's not going to run. He's not going to run because he wouldn't win. Paul Ryan's enmity goes all the way back to when Trump first got elected. He attacked Paul Ryan, and so that's the reason why Paul Ryan left. He said enough of this ish and left. And the problem is the Republican Party is really far right crazy. So it's going to have to be somebody that at least back Trump. That's the only thing. That's the only person those people will really get behind. It's got to be somebody that at least backed Trump at some point. Paul Ryan never did. So the GOP probably wouldn't mind him, but he's not going to be their face.
I just think if they trying to distance themselves away from Trump, that's what direction they would go.
That's why they go with Tim Scott. That's why they get, because Tim Scott moderately backed Trump, but he's a black face, and just him going against that issue in Florida that where the schools where DeSantis said that the slaves benefit from slavery. Just him going against that, kind of solidify. Yeah, this is our guy. Think about Herschel Walker. They push Herschel simply because.
Yeah. Oh, that was pure comedy. That was comedy.
It's because he's pushing reparations. He's saying the black people, Tim Scott.
That's who they'll push. They'll push him or they'll push Nikki Haley.
They'll push him. Now, you know what? Tim Haley is kind of strong. Tim Haley actually has a good background in politics.
You mean Nikki Haley? Nikki
Haley, my fault.
Yeah, Nikki Haley.
I don't know where I got Tim from.
You were talking about Tim Scott. You were talking about Tim Scott.
She's got a good political background, but at the same time, at the end of the day, I think they'll do her like not Trump, fucking whatchamacallit wife, Clinton wife.
Oh, Hillary Clinton.
Hillary did that to herself. Nobody do that to Hillary. Hillary did that to herself. She did it to herself. With a little help, ironically, from Obama. No one wants to say that, but Obama knew that stuff about Trump.
We all know.
And he could have told Comey, his FBI director, you are not, and I repeat, not to be doing press conferences about, stuff 11 days before an election.
Correct.
You go out there and say, make it muddy the waters and make it seem like it's something nefarious going on. Then come out and say, well, okay, yeah, but she didn't do anything illegal. You done already muddied the waters. It's too late.
Yeah. You put,
so
that's
on the terms
and
of
that,
it was just like,
I don't love Hillary,
who's less dirty?
You can't let. I don't love Hillary at all, but you can't let Jay-Z and Alicia Keys and John Legend campaign for you. That's what she did. And Bernie contributed only because Bernie got his people worked up. They wanted Bernie. Bernie didn't win. Bernie supported Hillary. He did the right thing. His people didn't. His people said, I'll never vote for that bitch. I'll never. And them same white kids up in Portland that was wearing Black Lives Matter shirts later protesting Trump. It's crazy.
Because Bernie's independent party, and Bernie's like, whatever floats my agenda.
Calvin said this to me.
He did the right thing. He fell in line. It's just his supporters didn't fall in line, and they didn't realize either voting for Jill Stein or not voting at all was a vote for Trump. Right.
Calvin
That's
said
why
this.
Hillary still won the popular vote, but the electoral things, the Republicans depend on that electoral map. Without that, they can't win.
That's it.
Calvin said this is the greatest shit show on the planet.
But they will lose based on that electoral map this time. Evidence, look at what happened in Kansas. Look at what happened last night in Ohio. Yeah. Them white Republican women came out to vote and like, nah. We get abortions too, y'all. So F that, you know. Yeah. And you can't, it's just not sustainable. It's a numbers game. You can't, if you get the white Republican women, the moderate Republicans, it's over. All you need is the independents and the Republicans. If it was just Democrats versus Republicans, the Republicans would never win in popular vote.
No, and they'd be Democrat all day.
That's why they made them connect. That's why they that's what electoral maps. Make it so you got 1 million black people in this one area, and it's almost like they get one vote. You know, versus the 12 white people in another area, their vote counts the same as that 1 million black people. That's the way they draw the maps up. Because it's not fair. It's not fair. It's too many of them. It's not fair.
I'm with you, Tom. I'm with you 100%.
But see, that's what I was saying about you saying not sustainable. That's what my thing was with the whole Trump shit, like and having them people being unleashed out the box. The Republicans, the long-term Republicans, they know that type of thought and that type of belief is not sustainable long-term. So they have to try to change. They have to shift, and I mean like hard shift. You know what I'm saying? They have to shift to get away from that. Like, hey, we still confident because just like you said, a vote for a non-vote is a vote for the other side. Correct. They got to do something to keep their people. They got to do something to keep their base. They got to salvage what they can from their base. Because some people, you know what I'm saying, some of them now, you know what I'm saying, you can't put shit back in the donkey. They're going to be, like, if Trump don't run again, they'll never get their vote back. So they got to salvage the ones who still on the fence.
Well, it's history repeating itself because Trump is imitating basically Jefferson Davis. They did the same thing. That's how the Civil War came about. Got them riled up and it escalated to a war, which they lost. But ultimately, you know, at the end of the day, I don't know. Like you just got as a person, you just got a logical, rational person. You just have to sit and think. Would you rather have Sleepy Joe Biden, you know, a president you can ignore 3 to 6 months at a fucking time, or would you rather have that orange idiot, you know, just on Twitter and all these social media things?
I'm gonna be honest. I've been disappointed with Biden. Just being honest.
I haven't because quietly he's gotten some stuff done. He was not my choice, but quietly he's gotten some stuff done. And the big thing is he's not instigating other stuff.
Well, that's a plus. That definitely is a plus.
It's sometimes what you don't do that actually counts for something. Right.
Well, I look, you know, I and Calvin, I've been telling y'all this for years.
Do have the Republicans do have the House, so they're blocking a lot of things that they're trying to do.
I mean, you know, I've told you guys this for years. I look at all of these politicians as just used car salesmen, and you know, just Trump unleashed. I mean, I agree, Tony, with what you said at the beginning when you know you said orange idiot. You know, this stuff wasn't happening before, you know, orange idiot. But to me, they all have an agenda that's not.
You think it would be happening if Hillary won?
No way.
First thing that would be going on right now with the Republicans winning the House, they would be trying to impeach Bill because I did not have such relations with that girl again. That's fine. That would have happened.
But at the same time, we can't really set the tone if we don't do something about it. And that's just back to your point, B. Like saying, look, we banded together as a community and everything. Why don't we band together when it comes to the voting? Who we get in it?
Absolutely.
Why don't we do that? It ain't that. Black people will come out for the presidential-ish. The problem is the Democrats. It's the Democrats. They don't get the Negroes to come off the plantation to vote down ballot. Vote for the lower level stuff.
The more local stuff. And that stuff is actually more, and that stuff has more of a direct effect on us. And I'm guilty of that. I don't, you know, all of that. I am so guilty of that, and I need to do better. But Tony, you're absolutely right. David, yes, absolutely. We can band together for a fight. We can band together for everything. We will, because we banded together in 2020 to vote to get Biden in. but we need
Right.
we need to band together for these lower level elections. And I had my Aunt Lisa on here one time when I was talking about the abortion, when they would first started talking about the abortion stuff, and I'm echoing her sentiments. That's what we really need to do, because that stuff affects us directly. And I have to, I have to, speaking for myself only, I have not been on my game when it comes to that, and I need to do better.
When it comes to change, that's one thing we directly have an effect on. And if you're not doing it, then it's just like we bitching about it now. We're saying things about it now, but if you ain't done nothing about it, then why bitch about it? Then it's just shit in the wind.
Governors count. Governors count in many ways more than presidents, because that's where you live.
You're right.
They got a lot of power. They have a lot of power. They can affect the way you vote.
Exactly.
The state legislature literally can take away your voting rights. They've been trying it. No drop boxes. You can only vote during this time. You can't even give people water in line while they vote.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Only people who don't have no reason to be voting is convicts, and that's because they don't have the right to. Which I feel like that's some bullshit, because it's still American citizens. But
most do now. Yeah. Most do now. As a matter of fact,
I was gonna say, I know a lot of that stuff has changed.
In Florida, they still had it in place in Florida, and the ironically, even it's a Republican Florida Supreme Court now. Even the Florida Supreme Court said the felons in Florida have a right to vote. Now they wanted that was good for the Republicans controlling that block of them brown people in Miami with them felonies.
Because
now
Florida
the Dominicans
is a naturally red state.
Right. And they did it because in the big picture, it ain't like Florida gonna go blue or purple. So fine, let them Dominicans vote, let them Cubans vote. We don't care. Let them Puerto Ricans vote. We don't mean nothing. It means something like in Atlanta though. In Georgia, it means something though, because Georgia is what Georgia is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's all Georgia, people of color in Georgia.
Yeah. Yep. And Georgia, if you can get your foot in the door in Georgia and Texas, those formerly red states, and kind of turn them purple, then you're doing something. Mm. And that's what happened. That's why Warnock, that's the reason Trump called, because Georgia talking about, can you find me 11,000 votes?
Yeah.
Because y'all got the felons vote. That's why you can't get 11,000 votes. Shut up. Nobody going to jail.
You were booking so heavy to lock them back up again, and prisoner reform and everything like that. It's such the small things with the bills that come out with making sure we keep tabs on prisoners and everything like that. If we're not doing our part as free citizens, what are we doing for incarcerated citizens? It's just the little things that we do in our day-to-day that we don't even think about. Why don't we do that as far as, I'm just going to say it, as the black community? Why don't we do that to affect our day-to-day as far as the person who's going to speak for us? Because every black man on here, Brandon can speak for himself, Tony can speak for himself, Calvin can speak for himself, I can speak for myself. But which one of them voices really matter at the end of the day?
It needs to be one collective voice. That would be a lot more powerful.
But if we got a white president speaking for us, how does that make you feel?
Well, okay, so let me ask you something. When is the next time you think we're going to see a black president?
Yeah, because when we see a suitable black candidate, most of the white candidates ain't suitable.
Exactly.
Right. So Obama is one of 3 people on earth that you will never see again.
7 minutes. Go get your stuff ready.
Yeah, I mean, like y'all remember Head of State when Chris Rock had just kicked his campaign manager off the bus, and the other campaign guy was like, well, if you quit, and Chris Rock said, if I quit, he said, I can't quit. He said, because if I do quit, it probably won't be another black candidate for another 50 years. So, and then, of course, we got Obama for 8. So, yeah, I will ask that question again. And I will add Tony's sentiment to it. When are we going to have a suitable black candidate? And I ain't talking about Al Sharpton.
The only people, I mean, from a black man perspective, from black, I can actually name 4 people that are in politics already. They're in that house already, and they represent well. They'd have to do a national thing, though. Everybody knows their names, but they'd have to push them a little bit harder. I think Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader right now, who took over Nancy Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffries would do well. General Representative. I think Cory Booker might, just on popularity alone. I think Stacey Plaskett from the Virgin Islands, and little fine ass Jasmine Crockett from Texas.
Hey man, what about Herschel Walker?
Those are the black people that stand out in terms of, it's a lot of black people, but I'm talking about in terms of what I would consider, because they're young enough, they're not in their 60s and 70s.
Okay, well, let me ask y'all a question.
Hold on.
If Tim Scott ran for president, would you vote for him?
Tim Scott is running for president.
Are you going to vote for him?
No, because he doesn't have our interests at heart. He's the public face. He is there. Like, man, Trump. Remember, Trump was at that rally.
No, I'm just killing one stereotype by asking that question.
And said that there's my African American. Well, he was talking about Tim Scott.
I asked that question to kill one stereotype, and that stereotype is, well, he black, I'm black. I guess that's why. That's all.
Right.
Yeah, but by that theory, Tim Scott, all he is a neutral, more mild-mannered Herman Cain, a prop dummy.
Oh, Herman Cain, the pizza man.
Yeah.
That's all Tim Scott is. He's a yes man for them.
Yeah, he's the candidate for them to say, hey, look, we like niggas too. Right. No, I'm saying and that's
a watered down nigga. That's all.
Like if you look at it like on some this gonna sound real corny, but let's say Obama changed a lot of shit. That 08 jump that fucked them up. That changed the landscape for the next 6 elections. You know what I'm saying? 20-some years out. If you look at it like Obama was, let's say Obama was Superman, and Trump was Lex Luthor. That dude Tim Scott would be like, what's the nigga name that they made to be Superman but evil? He was like, he's supposed to be like that. Bizarro.
Okay, so I got it.
That's who he is. But as far as what he's saying, those 4 candidates, those are the ones that are more. They'll probably do the better job. But it's one that's bright in front of our face, and it's gonna probably run. Especially if Biden gets another term and she'll run. It's the vice president. She's probably the biggest name. Right.
Well, she's not going to run against Biden.
No. I said if he gets another term, she'll run after that. And what she'll be doing is riding tradition, because anytime you a vice president for 8 years, you automatically are the, because that formula and those policies work, and you were part of that.
You would be the person that would be representing that party to run for president.
Right.
But okay, so basically Tim Scott, Candace Owens with a penis. That's all y'all need to say. Candace Owens with a penis.
But I want y'all to consider something, because there's some chicanery going on, and this is what y'all mean about unifying. Everybody got to be on the same page now. There's some chicanery going on, and the chicanery is coming from an extremely intelligent dude that is very much pro-black. Cornel West, what the fuck are you doing?
Who?
Hold on.
Washington, because you're in the big picture. You're gonna end up having that Bernie Sanders effect. You're gonna get just enough black people to follow that cause that they are not going to unify with the rest of us. You're not going to win the presidency, Cornel West. Drop your ass out,
because that's what Cornel West is. Cornel West has a bunch of great ideas, and he feels like he knows what we should be doing. But Cornel is great as a college professor. He's great at teaching colleges and do all that.
Go make a deal with the Biden administration. Go talk to him. Bow out. Tell him you'll bow out if you can implement some of your ideas, and maybe get a place in his next administration and implement your ideas. And that's what you know when you get bow out.
Well, you know where he getting most of his juice from? The right. I'm telling you, one of their attacks.
Well, Robert Kennedy gets his juice from the right. That's their man, Robert Kennedy Jr. He's a Democrat. Let's push him up.
That's what I'm saying. It's a tactic. It's divide. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't tell, like on the outside, you can't say, hey, y'all propping up our people in our party. Don't do that. That make you look stupid. But what it is you divide the base into so many different parts and so many different facets that is able to, you know what I'm saying? Think of the base as like a rock. And if a rock is solid, you'll hurt your fucking hand. But if you crack it and you hit it right, it'll shatter. You feel what I'm saying? So you got
Cornell knows better. Cornell West is extremely intelligent. He know better.
He know better, but he feel like
smarter than motherfucker. College professor the whole
you feel like he should. You feel like he should know better, but everybody got an ego, baby. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got it. Everybody got an ego, and he probably and like you say, he probably know better than we do how bad he'll lose. But he probably got something else cooking with that. You know what I'm saying? They didn't, book deal, something else. You know what I'm saying? It's levels to that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he know. They don't. Listen, these people know what they're doing. They think these people be thinking like we looking ahead to the 24 election. These people own election 2036. They already know.
If he don't know, on MSNBC, and I don't like Al Sharpton sat right on MSNBC. I have talked to Brother Cornell West and tried to explain to him what's at stake.
Mm-hmm.
And now, who said that? So you know what that
Al Sharpton
said. I have talked to Brother Cornell West, and I have explained to him, what's at stake. We are fighting for the very democracy that this country was founded on. You know how Al Sharpton talks. Yeah. So we ain't got time for that. We ain't got time. You cannot do 4 years of Trump. You cannot do 4 more years of Trump ever.
And then let me ask you, didn't Al Sharpton run?
Yep.
At one point in time
in the 90s, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
That was when he was fat Al Sharpton, when he looked like Bookman from Good Times.
He had no chance. Jesse had a better chance than Al.
Yeah, I remember when Jesse Jackson ran too.
With all them Jew comments,
but he's the one that had our best interest in mind.
That's Jaime Town. When you got Eddie Murphy on Saturday Night Live singing Jaime Town, acting like Jesse Jackson, you was dead in the water before you got started.
Stop messing with them hoes, Jesse.
You got another topic? Or we talking politics all the time? Because I'm bored with it.
Hey, no. Actually, one more thing before I go. I know really nobody here keeps up with baseball, but did y'all see that Tim Anderson fight for the White Sox?
That dude got clocked. He got clocked. He was woozy.
All right, look. Okay, let me paint a picture for you, David. All right, so there's a player, and this was like a Dominican player from the Guardians who he hits a double, right? So he slides into second base, and the dude, Tim Anderson, tags him kind of hard. So the guy gets up and is like, yo, what's up with the hard tag? Puts his finger in his face. Now, Tim Anderson takes his glove off and put his guard up. Like, he puts his guard up like a professional boxer. I'm like, yo, maybe dude can fight.
Okay.
And he threw a couple of punches, right? And then the dude who he threw punches at just threw a right hook from the stratosphere. He wasn't even looking, and caught him flush on the chin and dropped his ass. And when he got up to try to walk off, his teammates had to help him walk off the field.
They had to help him walk off. His legs was rubber, bruh.
Yeah. He was spaghetti legged as a motherfucker, bro.
Well, people
Public service announcement.
What'd you say, Calvin?
Service announcement to everybody who don't know folks like us. If you put your hands up, that means you're ready to go. So, if you're not ready, don't put your fucking hands up.
He probably, what I'm saying, he probably knew what we found out, that he couldn't fight. So he had to be, he had to be ready.
Calvin, I sent you the video, right?
I think if you look at that video, I just don't think he anticipated that punch coming, because the brother, he was not looking at him. I don't want to call it a sucker punch, but it was a sucker punch. Like, it was only a sucker would not see that coming.
Yeah, he was not. If you look, David, I just sent it to you. He was not looking when he swung. He was just swinging because he was in a fight and he connected. David, go on your phone right now and look at that video.
You see how he played it off like, yeah, I meant to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. If you look at the replay, his face was in a whole nother direction from where Tim Anderson was. But again, if you Tim Anderson, like David said, if you throw him up, you ready to go. If you know you can't fight, you shouldn't throw them hands up.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He said, don't put your damn hands up.
On a side baseball note, because I don't watch baseball, I haven't watched baseball in years, but that Japanese dude is rough.
Shohei Ohtani?
Now hitting three homers and shutting you out.
Yeah, he may be the greatest baseball player ever.
Yeah.
Like, all jokes aside.
Like that in my life.
All jokes aside. They used to talk about Babe Ruth. Man, he make Babe Ruth look like a minor leaguer. Like, honestly, like this dude, he may break Aaron Judge's home run record and win the fucking Cy Young. That's unheard of.
Wasn't that a couple weeks ago? He did that 3 homers and a shutout.
Yeah. And the thing about it is, he plays on a horrible team.
Yeah.
You never see him in October. The Anaheim Angels got the 2 best players in baseball, and they are a shitty team. Explain that one. That's baseball for you. Because when that dude is going to get a $500 or $600 million contract fully guaranteed this coming off season. And it's probably going to come from the Dodgers because baseball has no salary cap. It's either going to be the Dodgers or the Yankees. And he said he wants to stay out west, so it's going to be the Dodgers.
Oh.
And if the Angels were smart, I understand at the trade deadline they were in some type of, they were in kind of the wild card spot. They should have traded that man and got as much as they could get for him because he's going to walk off for nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, this dude is going to get over $500 million to play baseball, and he's worth it. He's worth every penny. I ain't never seen a motherfucker like this. I've always said that I thought that Barry Bonds was the greatest player ever.
And he do it like with no effort. It don't even look like
It don't even look like he's trying. Oh, you watched the video, David?
He's Steph Curry of the fucking baseball world. That's what you're saying?
Man, let me look.
He ain't Steph Curry. He's Jordan.
Yes.
He's Jordan. He ain't Steph.
This
He's
motherfucker
Jordan.
can
There's
do it
no
all.
baseball player in history. There's
Fair
baseball players that can hit, pitchers that can hit, but not a pitcher that's Cy Young and, a batting champ.
Yep.
That dude is both.
The reason why I said Curry because the shit that Jordan do look hard. It looks like the shit that Curry do. You think, I might. You know what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying, but I'm telling you, if the baseball world has never seen nobody like him before, ever.
And what's his name?
Shohei Ohtani. Just all you gotta do is look up Anaheim Angels. Look up Shohei Ohtani Angels. This dude, this a bad dude, man.
And tell me why he wasn't even the top rated prospect though. How do you miss that?
What's up, David?
Hey, I feel where y'all come from, but I gotta roll.
Oh, okay, D. Okay.
I gotta go do something in the bedroom.
Okay, TMI. Yes, sir. Too much information.
TikTok videos and crack up.
All right, TMI. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go fix the shelf.
Yeah, fix this. Yeah, fix the shelf, sir.
Exactly. Shelf fix time.
Yeah.
Love y'all, man.
Love you too, bro.
Get the black person
Yeah,
out
you know what I'm saying? Y'all got my
get
number,
together
y'all
and
call
fix the shelf.
Yeah, go fix the shelf, bro.
No, and ain't nobody getting together. It's just me and the wife.
Okay, yeah, fix the shelf.
Yeah, I
Montgomery, Alabama, brawl for it all. Let's go.
I'm gonna find a shelf to fix just because you said that. I can fix.
Well, look,
I'm
fe-
making me
my
fight
neighbor
you,
doing
Tony.
things he need to
I
tell
really
me.
love you, Tony. I really like your thinking, but you trying to make me fight you, ain't? I'm gonna go fix the goddamn shelf.
fix the goddamn shelf.
And
Why are you still on the phone? You got shelves to be fixing.
Goddamn right. Hey, y'all niggas got my number. Y'all holler at me whenever.
Ain't one of them old
We will.
spirituals while you fix that shelf though, please.
Hey, think about that person hitting people upside the head with a chair while you fixing the shelf.
That's right. Fix that
Hey,
shelf.
look, while you bullshitting,
angry. Fix it.
I got 2 folding chairs in the house as it is.
There
Don't
you
even
go.
put the hammer, hit the nail with a chair.
Bro, matter of fact, I'm gonna go to Walmart and I'm gonna buy a white folding chair just because.
That's fair enough.
Hey, bro, you know what? Hey, if you're a stock person, the stock on white folding chairs are gonna be up for the next 2 weeks. Cash in now. God damn it, I need to go on my Robinhood account.
White people had these tikis. We got
Somebody said on TikTok, Walmart ain't even selling black people white chairs no more.
Hey, we're gonna have to go to the outdoor flea market.
Hey, but y'all good, man.
Why are you still on the phone?
I'll y'all later, man. Love y'all, man.
Love you too, cousin.
Later, y'all.
All right.
Dinner time. I'm about to hit this plate like that dude.
Yeah, man, I'm about to get off this phone too, man. But yeah, I just wanted to pick y'all brain on this Montgomery, Alabama thing, and it led to politics because it always works hand in hand. Because I'm sure politicians are trying to find some way to use that in their strategy. But again, black people, we need to stick together. It doesn't have to be for violence, but to me, that was a wonderful, happy day in Black history. And again, I'm not anti anything. I'm pro black. I'm pro love. I'm pro-choice, and I look. The playing field has never been even in this country called America. And if there's anybody who has, let me put it this way: this was like a movie. If you like movies, if you're a movie buff, then you should relate to this. Okay, in a movie, when you have villains or a bully, and you see them get their ass whipped, you're usually happy, right? Well, in the case of these men that jumped this security officer, they were the villain. They were the bully. I don't give a damn what color they were. They were the villain in that role, and they got their ass whipped, and I loved it. Because I hate bullies.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt that. I haven't felt like that since Joffrey died, man. I'll be honest with you. Because when I first started watching the junk, it was like, oh my God, man, not again. There shit went on. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that's exactly how I was last night, bro. I was pissed. Yeah. I was sitting at my kitchen table pissed, and then boy, the tables turned.
Brandon, you ain't watch Game of Thrones, did you?
You tried to get me to watch Game of Thrones. I told you I couldn't do Game of Thrones.
Oh, you don't even know who the fuck Joffrey is.
I know who Joffrey is from Game of Thrones. I do. But I was done with Game of Thrones when the brother and sister was mourning their child, pause, and then the brother puts the sister on the floor and rapes her, pause.
Well,
I said, I can't
you
watch
was
this
done
shit.
with Game of Thrones like after episode, what, 4, 5?
Yeah, yup, pretty much. Pretty much.
Aw.
Pretty much. Yep.
You would have known, if you hung in there for a couple of more seasons, you would have felt a pure joy when Joffrey died.
Exactly.
Like, it was like,
well, it's kind of okay. Well, did it give you the pure joy that when Cooper Saxe got killed in Power?
It gave me more joy when Joffrey died. Cooper Saxe, nah. I mean, it was all right, but nah.
Nothing compares to that. Nothing compares. That don't. But it's some shit that probably could compare to that, but not like that.
Okay.
Not like that. That was special. I remember what I was wearing when that shit happened. I'm telling you, when that nigga died, when that nigga dropped, he quit acting out.
That show, Brandon, baby, all I can tell you, bro, it was 1A and 1B for a time, and then it just became 1 and 2. Walking Dead and Game of Thrones, and every week it was that trending Twitter. It was Game of Thrones, Walking Dead. That's it. Nothing else.
Do you mean the X? Do you mean the X?
I can watch Battle of the Bastards once a day. That episode.
Well, see that might have been the satisfying death with Ramsey Bolton.
Oh, Ramsey, yes, God, yes, and that's the same show. I didn't even think about this shit. Yeah, that was another bad cat too. Yeah.
Well, the metaphor I was using as far as Montgomery, Alabama was.
Yeah, I was cheering when
you see villains, bullies get beat up. In the movie theater, you loved it. Just think about how everybody felt when Thor's hammer flew into Captain America's hands and he started whooping Thanos' ass.
Man, when that flew into Captain America's hand, I said, man, that's some bullshit.
Okay, I'm not talking to the comic book purists right here.
Thanos beating their ass. Like, come on, man.
I'm not talking to the comic book purists right here, okay? Okay, just think about if you are a true. Just think about if you are a true Terrence Crawford fan and you watch that fight Saturday night.
If you're never going to watch the series, just Google Battle of the Bastards. Look it up on YouTube, Battle of the Bastards, and look at the Jon Snow and Ramsay Bolton. He was whipping his ass. He adjusted him and then continued beating his ass. Like, you know somebody beat your ass and they just stop, look at you, wait a minute, I ain't hitting you in the right space, and move you over a little bit so I can
Spain right here, nigga.
All right, well, fellas, you know, I'm not going to get into football discussion.
You get ate alive by some what? What were those, Rottweilers or whatever the hell them dogs were that he had?
His own shit, yeah.
Well, fellas, I'm not going to get into football discussion today, but we have tomorrow. It will be 1 month until the opening Sunday. Prediction league is coming. I bust y'all ass before. I'll fucking do it again. Anyway, Big C.
Hey, you know what?
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you
Go
saying?
ahead.
I was getting ready to sign off, brother. What's
No, go ahead. I'll text you after this.
Okay.
Hey, text cousin David. Tell me he gonna have to fix that footstool after dude get done with Dwight Howard too.
Oh no, 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 no. Hey man, I'm out of here, y'all.
All right.
All right. Hey, peace, man. I'm out of here.